Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? When we were trying to get Young Black Equestrians, the podcast, off the ground, we had so many questions like, how do you record an episode? And how do you get the podcast distributed out to everyone so that they can listen? How do you even make money from podcasting? We found out that you could do that. That was something that I did not know could happen. Well, the answer to all of those questions I found on Anchor. Anchor is a one stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. Best of all, it is 100% free and ridiculously easy to use. And now, Anchor can match you with great sponsors who want to advertise on your podcast. That means you can get paid to podcast right away. In fact, that's what I'm doing right now by reading this ad. I love using Anchor. It's super easy to upload your podcast. It's very user friendly, has a user friendly interface, and you can even make money by doing sponsorships. So if you've always wanted to start a podcast and make money doing it, go to anchor.fm/start. That's anchor.fm/start and join me in the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. I can't wait to hear your podcast. You are now listening to Young Black Equestrians, the podcast, with your hosts, Abriana Johnson and Caitlin Gooch.
Alrighty, we are on the way in the car to Greenville. Where are we going?
We are going to Coanita Christian Church in Greenville, North Carolina.
Okay. And we are going to read. This is part of the Saddle Up and Read.
Yeah, Black History Month reading tour.
Yeah.
And we will be sharing our experiences, some information about Black cowboys and cowgirls, and teaching the kids how to be safe around horses.
Yeah, I'm super excited. It's the first event I've been able to go to. So that's pretty cool. But for this next episode of Young Black Equestrians, the podcast, we wanted to talk about a couple things. I guess, first off, kind of what our definition of cowgirl is. I guess cowboy too, but we're cowgirls, so that's what we're going to talk about today. And just some of the over-sexualization of cowgirls kind of on social media and, even in like modeling for cowgirl apparel or, modeling a horse or anything like that. Like, I just feel like it's something that we need to bring attention to. So, what is your definition of a cowgirl? Do you consider yourself a cowgirl?
So, I think this question was asked last year when Black cowgirls and cowboys started getting a little bit more coverage. And I was like, okay, well, no, I don't have cows. So, do I consider myself a cowgirl? And I just think yes and no. Yes, because that's the most relatable thing that I can put to it. Like, if I walk around here talking about equestrian this, equestrian that, the common person is not going to know anything. Right. I'm like, well, what is that? And I have to explain this whole thing. When I can just say cowgirl, and it's like, oh, okay, you ride horses.
Right.
I don't think majority of people automatically go cowgirl. Oh, you be roping and stuff and pinning down cows. I don't think that's where people's mind goes.
Yeah, because they probably don't know about that either, when they're talking about cowgirlness.
Right. So, I consider myself a cowgirl, but at the same time, I'm still like, dang, I wish I did do those things. Mm-hmm. Or maybe, like steer undecorated or something. Mm-hmm. But I have been leaning more since the podcast has started towards like equestrian and horsewoman. Mm-hmm. I've been leaning more towards those terms.
Yeah, I'm right there with you because, like, I didn't do any of that. designation. Like, you have to do more, and I don't do all that. I don't, like you said, I don't do any roping. I don't do barrels. Like, I don't do any gymkhana, speed events, anything like that. I mean, primarily because of the breed that I have, and it's just not something that he is, like, a Tennessee walking horse is known for, right? So he's known for trails and he's known for showing, and that's what I enjoy doing. I like showing. So you just say, when I was showing, when he was younger, we did a lot of in-hand trail stuff and competitive trail events. Like, that's what I prefer to do, even if it's in a show setting. I mean, I like trail riding, but like those, what's it called? It's some kind of challenge in this like giant warehouse where it's got all this terrain and you got to go through and like go under the bridge. Like the ultimate trail challenge or something like that. Yeah, like that's the kind of stuff that I like to do.
We need to work towards competing in one of those.
Yeah. I would do something like that 100%. But you know, I don't know if that gives me that designation of a cowgirl. That's why, you know, young black equestrian. Put the definition up. There is a rider or performer on horseback, and that's pretty much what I am.
Silence.
Yeah. I just noticed a trend, like, amongst cowgirls or people talking about cowgirls. It's like just the photos and videos, like, they're super slutty.
Yeah, everything like sexy.
Yeah,
naked, but here go a horse.
Yeah, naked on a horse, like long, right? Like, you clearly don't realize how much hair you gonna get everywhere.
Nobody's riding.
Nobody's
Riding like that. I didn't ride in shorts.
No.
Like, if I saw somebody riding in shorts and we was on the trail ride, I'd just be like,
yeah, you clearly.
What are you trying to
new
prove?
Here, right? You're clearly new here. Or even like wearing like super low cut tank tops and stuff. You know you're gonna be bouncing around, like just bouncing everywhere. Like, come on now. I just feel like that stuff like that is a little bit unnecessary. And when you're trying to set an example for other people or other people who are wanting to get into horses, or youngsters coming up, following in your footsteps, you know, that's not the image that you really want to be portraying.
Not at all. Because there's a way that you can just show your confidence and show that you appreciate your body without having to show all of your body.
Right.
Like, I mean, if you want to do that, cool, but don't sit here and do it. I don't know, it's a way that you should do things if you know that people are watching and following you. Like, there's certain things I'm not going to post, certain things I'm not going to say or do, because one, I'm an educator. I'm running multiple positive youth developmental programs. What would I look like if I was just out here naked on my horses?
Right.
Or just dressing inappropriately, especially around the kids or when I go to these events.
Right. And it's not even like to be body shaming or to sound super judgy. Like, it's about like what is necessary, you know? Like, it's not, what is the word I'm looking for? It's not functional to do this. Like, you got a super low cut shirt and you gotta go out and throw hay. You got hay all up in your stuff. Like, that's why it's not functional. It's not about being judgy. It's just, no, that's so not necessary. It makes sense, yeah.
We just gotta keep it classy for the kids, for ourselves, because, and then what if you out there, boobs out, butt out, something happened? I mean, it's nails everywhere.
Yeah,
wood.
yeah.
Anything happen, you get yourself hurt.
I remember going to an auction in undergrad, and this girl, you know, they got the horse out, and she's riding it in like the little round pen area while people are bidding on the horse, and she who's selling the horse? Is the horse selling himself, or is she trying to sell the horse?
Sex sells.
Yeah,
that's so sad.
sells. Yeah.
Like, I've seen, like when people do their apparel photo shoots and stuff. Okay, I guess you don't have to get, if it's horse related, somebody that rides horses is cool. But again, make it make sense. Like, why are you selling me something that I might possibly need, but you're using it in this provocative way?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna want it. Yeah. Or see like a use for it.
I don't want to support that or promote it and have some of those images attached to it.
Say if I wanted to support a brand or an organization and I didn't agree with the way they portray themselves on social media, people are gonna see, like, oh, I'm attached to this, but look at what they're putting out there.
Yeah.
That makes a huge difference. Just like with all these people getting canceled because of a comment they made 10 years ago.
Yeah, the whole blackface thing, like all these things coming out, coming to light. Anything you put on social media is there. It's in the world, and it never goes away. You can delete it. You can think you deleted it, but we all know screenshots are a girl's best friend. Mm-hmm. So chances are somebody's got it. So
that's how some teachers, I've seen stories where somebody that screenshotted something the teacher posted, or something a teacher had that was like adult content, and it got out, and the teacher loses their job.
Yeah, jeopardize their entire future. Like I said, I'm all about body positivity. But when it comes to horses, I just feel like the craving of attention, like especially for our black cowgirls, we want to put ourselves out there, we want to make ourselves known, but you can do that without showing all your goodies. That's what I want somebody to know me for, like for my horsemanship, all that, and not just, oh, that's that girl that posted that picture with no shirt on that horse. That's crazy.
Even now, I think, oh my goodness, especially pictures with chaps on Google search are the worst. Like, why you got on chaps with no pants? With no pants.
And it's all to sell, because that's not functional in the slightest. Not functional at all. Like, the whole purpose of chaps is to cover up your pants.
Right. And protect your legs. Well, I guess there is a way, like you said, this is not body shaming. It's just, okay, if you're going to be a part of something that's bigger than you, just like when I joined my sorority, they're like, okay, well, once you do this, you're going to be known as that S Street Road, and then your name, which is true. And even on the trail ride scene, Hooch's daughter. So let me go out here and do something. Who does it get back to? It's back to him. Right. And I am, I reflect him in some way. Mm-hmm. So we should all just keep that in mind. If you're a part of something that's bigger than you, then you need to respect it.
Yeah, or even if you just have a larger vision, or you have something that you want to do in the future, you have to be strategic in what you put out there, because word, pictures, everything travels so much faster now. It's not like 30, 40 years ago when there was no internet and you post, well, I guess you wouldn't post a picture anywhere. It's not like you would post it in the newspaper. But if you were like scandalous, it doesn't get out that far initially,
It's on the down low.
Yeah, on the down low, and stuff like that's coming out now. But because now everybody has the internet.
I like how you said, especially if you have a larger vision. Like right now, I can honestly say, ooh, you ever see on Facebook when your post from like 7 years ago pop up?
Girl.
Oh, I just got to get the
Facebook memories, right?
Like, first of all, why was I talking like this?
Yeah, typing with the big small,
Yes.
like a bunch of punctuation and
Oh man.
yeah.
I mean, that stuff will follow you.
Yeah, or even like I remember all the way back in the day when you had to you could text your Facebook status, like you would send it to this number,
Yeah.
and then it would always have my signature at the bottom.
Goodness, signatures.
That was bad. That was bad. I definitely
Some
had some
got
crazy.
signatures.
Yeah.
But see, it's a paper trail, and now the things that I said before, or sometimes you ever get that urge to just be petty. Yeah, I don't do that no more.
Yes, I fight the urge.
Oh yeah, I be
I
fighting
fight
real
the
hard.
urge.
Like, it's no point in throwing shade. It's no point in being petty. It's no point in bitching and putting out all crazy things on social media. If one day you never know who might look past you because of your content. They might be like, oh no, we cannot have you represent us
Yeah.
because this is what you're putting out there.
And I've been thinking about it more recently, just because of some of the things I got going on in my life, what's on my social media. And at first, so I got a Facebook, an Instagram, and a Snapchat. At first, like Facebook, nobody was hardly on there. It's like, just wild out. But now, I've got my managers, I've got employees, I'm friends with all them. And I'm like, okay, can't be doing all that. And then I kind of took that shade to Instagram. And then now I use Instagram for work. And I'm like, okay, but I can't do all that. So it went to Snapchat. And I mean, I'm not even that bad on Snapchat. I don't even use it that much. But then I thought to myself, like, is that even something that, like, if I have to think about whether or not
To post it?
is that something that should even be posted?
Yep.
A lot of times I type and delete, like just to get it out, like and delete.
Yep.
Like I'm not
I
even
ain't gonna post that.
No, I just got it out of my system, typing it up real angrily, like, and
Because we have emotions, and it's okay, to deal with them how we need to deal with them. Just be wise about what we're gonna post and what we're gonna say. Because even some things can be taken out of context. Like, I've had people come to me and say, so-and-so showed me your post. I'm like, we're not even friends on none of this. They don't even speak to me. So whatever they concluded by this, how would they even know?
right,
When we don't even communicate.
right, and you can't tell tone from text.
Exactly. I just thought of this question. So say if you had an opportunity to, I guess, do something, say somebody came with you say if somebody came to you with an opportunity, and there might be a possibility that you could get, I guess, some great coverage for your brand, but the way they wanted to represent it does not, I guess, agree with your morals and your standards. How would you handle that?
Well, that is interesting. So, because I am a perfectionist and kind of a type A kind of person, like, the answer's no. I would not be doing it. Just because I like to be in control of what I put out there, and if I work so hard on something, like my daddy say, I'll be a monkey's uncle. If you think you are gonna, like, screw that up or change the hard work that I've put in. And that actually reminds me of the conversation that Monique and Steve Harvey just had on his show. She was talking about integrity versus money, and he was saying, like, oh, I would lose my integrity for this amount of money to set my family up so we don't fall. And I mean, I honestly think that she should have, I think her point would have went with a different word, like dignity, not like integrity, but she was just saying how she would not lose her integrity or her dignity just over some money, which I agree. I mean, sorry, money, we're still not boycotting Netflix, but I agree with what she was saying. Like, I mean, Steve Harvey is freaking loaded anyway right now. So, like, I don't think you and your family are hurting for anything.
Right.
But, yeah. But I did, agree with what Monique was saying. But,
so I asked that because sometimes, and I've seen this, with us being black cowboys and cowgirls on the rise of, I guess, gaining popularity and people paying attention to us, it seemed like some people are selling out. I personally went and attached myself to something that I didn't agree with morally, or if I didn't feel like it was going to uphold the standards that I hold myself to, just so this whole equestrian cowboy community could get coverage.
yeah.
I don't think that I would do that, because when you do that, it's like you're settling for less. And this is something, we had to do a lot just to go to a trail ride. So I would...
Yeah, you work too hard for it.
Yeah, like all my life. Have never stopped. And even my brother, who doesn't even ride horses, he's worked harder and longer, it seems like, than me. So I know, what he stands for. Like, if he's gonna, even though he might not like horses, but if he's gonna go down there and do something, he's gonna do it to the best of his ability.
Right.
He's gonna get it done.
Right.
And I'm not gonna be a part of anything that doesn't model that.
Right. When I was in undergrad, I was doing my equine health program, or it's called the Equine Health Series. And when I tell you, so many people thought I was already in vet school because I was like all over the place, just being right there at the vet school. I made sure people knew who I was. Even I'm a volunteer here at some event, but I made sure people knew who I was and what I was associated with, and what kind of goals that I had for myself, and I was trying to provide opportunities for other students, and I just made, like, even some of, I would say, top 5 veterinarians in the Raleigh area, Raleigh, Apex, Chapel Hill, Durham, Zebulon area, they know who I am, and they know that what I've been working towards, and my personality, and it's nice, and it paves a way for you when your reputation comes.
Reputation.
Yes, when your reputation precedes you, it makes life so much easier. Like, if you have people, even if they just mention your name in passing, especially with this black horsemanship thing. I mean, the horse community is so small, period. And so, being a minority in that, people will start to know who you are and associate you with something, and you are in complete control of what you're associated with.
Yes.
And I made sure that I was associated with, bettering equine health, education, outreach, trying to make opportunities for other people. Like I was telling you the other day, like, I remember going to this conference, the Equine Health Symposium at the vet school, which should be coming up this spring. And I volunteered so I could get in free, because I was no longer a student. And I was helping set up the lunch, and this girl's like, "Oh, put this over there, and no, that doesn't go there." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." And Fernando Cardenas walks up, and she's like, "Oh, hello, Dr. Cardenas. How are you doing today?" He's like, "Oh, I'm fine. How are you doing?" I can't even. Well, I don't remember the girl's name, but I know who she's associated with, so we just not mention that. But I was at the end of the table, and I didn't say anything. I was just gonna wait until he got down to the end of the table to speak to him. And he was talking to her, and we happened to make eye contact. He was like, "Abriana?" And I was like, "Oh, hey, how you doing? Dr. Cardenas, Fernando, what's up? How's your wife? How's your kids?" I know, super petty. Super petty. How are the kids?
Let me let
Are
her
they
know that
great?
you know me. and I
Right.
know you
Right.
on another
I'm like,
level.
we on a whole nother level, okay? Like, Fernando is that dude, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. Well, I am so happy to see you here, Dr. Cardenas. We'll have to get up later. And
Grab some lunch.
and I just remember the look on the girl's face. She was like,
You probably lost her.
who is this chick?
Right.
And she clearly knows people, so how's she a volunteer? Like, wait a second, she should have been paying to get up in here. But, like I said, I mean, it's all about...
I can't wait till you give that story on your TED Talk one day.
I know, right? I'm going to mention her then. I know,
Like,
your
look at
mom
me.
is. Right.
But yes, reputation. When I was writing my paper last night, I was like, there's a word that I'm trying to think of. I cannot think of it. It was reputation.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for saying that. Too late. But
I was about to say, you
submitted
turned it in.
but I feel relieved because I know the word now. Like, it was tucked back there. It finally came to light.
Yeah, that happens to me a lot.
But yes, reputation is everything because I have ran into people that I've needed to do something with, and maybe it was with the organization that I was trying to connect them to, and they're like, "Oh, we're not doing nothing with them," and it's because of people's reputations. And then that's when, well, that was long ago, but that's when I just learned, like, yeah, who we are attached to is important. Like, yes, we can all come together and work together, but I'm not gonna risk the reputation of who I am and what I'm attached to just for a one-time thing. Because you never know what kind of, I don't know, mess it might bring on.
Right. And I mean, even like in your question, you said that, if somebody wants to portray your brand in a way that does not go with your ideals, like you have to do some research into their previous stuff, as well as what they're presenting to you at that moment. Like, as our podcast gets more of an audience and more followers, we've had people approach us.
Be selective.
Yeah.
That's what she getting at.
Yeah, pretty much. Approach us wanting to promote and wanting us to, share some things, and you just have to be particular because you never know where that's going to lead you in the long run. Like, oh, I'm not going to associate myself with them because they wore Gucci.
Right, like, we
now
black
Gucci,
on everything.
Right, now Gucci is all under fire, and it's like, ooh.
That's like that store. Oh, I don't know what state it was, but it's a sporting goods store that went out of business because they stopped selling Nike because of the whole Kaepernick. Why?
Yeah, like, that's just completely unnecessary. And Nike's so much bigger than Colin Kaepernick. Like,
exactly. Like,
that
look at what he's attached to.
stupidity on your part, but it's clearly Nike has not suffered in the slightest.
Right.
So,
like when people was burning.
yeah, burning the shoes that you already bought. Idiots.
Oh,
Yeah, no, that's definitely.
but like you said, you were hitting on something. People looking back at your reputation. When I started this Saddle Up and Read Black History Month reading tour, people had to call me back because I'm pretty sure they was like, let me Google this girl. She ain't got no website. She don't got no nothing. Let me Google her. They at least ask me, are you registered to volunteer with Wake County? Yes, I am. And then I can say all these things, but they still gonna go look.
Yeah.
I mean, we're headed to a church this morning. Do you think that church was gonna let me come in if I had some mess?
Yeah.
When they searched my name,
Yeah.
come talk to their kids, their children. I'm dealing with children.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna, even though, okay, I'm saying don't portray certain things. You got to be about it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm working on me every day. I have kids. I work with kids. I'm around kids. The kids are our future. They are. They're looking at everything that we do. And I'm trying my best to be the best person I can be.
wanting to be a better you for you, I think is very important, because if you are just trying to do better or improve for someone else's gain, you know, any slight disappointment they have with you, like, invalidates what you've been doing, you know? So you have to want to do better for yourself first, you know, before you are bettering yourself for somebody else.
Yes, it's all about growth, because I hope and I know that our hard work is going to look so different this time next year. Like, we're going to grow. We're not going to be telling, you know, the same old stories, talking about the same old things, because we're going to have so much growth under our belts, and we're just going to continue to grow and prosper. So I'm ready for that.
Yeah. And it's like, now that I've been on this whole, like, podcast binge and listening to different motivational things, you know how the algorithms work on Facebook. Like, as soon as you think refrigerator, you got ads for 50 refrigerators on your timeline.
That happened yesterday when I bought some Aveeno face moisturizer, and I get on Instagram, Aveeno face moisturizer.
Right there, yeah.
The feds is watching.
Yeah, it's the feds. Well, now I get all of these motivational memes, and I don't know if they were going to just share them anyway, or if I just wouldn't have seen them. But I just feel like when I scroll now, there's so much more motivation, and I'm just like, is this the algorithm, or is this because I'm paying more attention? Like, you know, when you buy a car,
Yes,
I was something. I ain't never seen this car around, but as soon as you buy that car, you
It's
see it
everywhere.
I don't know if that's the case, but it's great. Like, it's great. I saw something that said, like, 6 months of hard work can set you up for, like, years of growth and prosperity. Yeah, and so that's why, you know, people say, like, why do you go so hard? Like, my mom's like, you have a lot of things on your schedule. And I'm like, if I do this for 6 months, how is that going to set me up for my future, for the next 6 months, for years to come? Like, you just have to
lay that foundation now, because eventually it'll just be like clockwork. Like, oh, I need this. I already know who to contact. Oh, I need to do blah, blah, blah. I got 5 people to do all that stuff.
Yep.
But you got to work and build that foundation now.
Yep.
And that goes with your reputation. I feel like your reputation in the beginning is the most important.
Yep.
Because it's going to, everything after it has to reflect it. And then we started off right, I think.
Yes.
And now we're just going to grow. It's learn, fail. We're going to fail a lot, which is great. Like, I'm ready to fail, you know. Then you bounce back and learn the better way to do it.
Yeah.
And then you pass that information on.
Yes, because there's somebody coming after us, and that's one of the reasons we started this podcast, because of the lack of information being passed on. Because I just feel like, and maybe it's because I haven't immersed myself in kind of this world 100%, but I feel like there's a lot of stuff that we could know, or a lot of resources that we could have if it was just shared. And in this age of internet and social media, like, sharing should become second nature. You share everything. You share memes, you share posts, you share pictures, like, share the knowledge.
Share the shade.
Share the shade. Yes, that also occurs. I'm guilty. But yeah, there should definitely be some kind of transfer of knowledge. You know, we've got all of these elders in the horse community who have these giant properties.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, little old me, you know, is trying to figure out how do I end up with one of these mega properties?
Like, what do I need to know?
What do I need to do, what I need to know, you know, and it's like in school, like they don't teach you how to sew and they don't teach you how to do taxes. Like that's not something we can rely on public education for. Except for those specialized classes, like in high school, you can sign up for a home ec class or something like that. But a lot of times we rely on on past generations to give us that information.
And it's not being given right now.
No. I just feel like
so these things can continue.
And you know, like I always say, once you know better, you do better. But you gotta want to know better. And we're at that point where we want to know better. But it's like because we want to promote certain things, certain changes, that all of a sudden is like, oh, you want to take this away from me. I've been doing this for so and so many years.
That's not the case.
Yeah, it's like, no, we just want to do it better. Like, growth is it. Just moving on up.
You want to take what you know and expand it. Because the thing is, and this was a part of the message when I went to church on Sunday, was our suffering has pain. Like, we might not in this lifetime be able to see what kind of things our suffering produces or who it's going to help. Like, we're doing all this traveling. We don't know how that's going to set the next generation up. You know, they're going to take this and go even further.
Yep.
So now, I guess we're in that position where we want to take what's been done and take it even farther. Take it so that it'll last for centuries to come. I don't know what the world is going to look like in another century.
I know, all this global warming.
But I do know that I at least want to say that I tried.
Yeah.
You know, I tried to get this information and then tweak it and then pass it on. So they can tweak it and pass it on. And that just keep going and going and going. Or else it'll die. Like, I don't want this culture to die. Cultures have died because of, you know, outside reasonings before, you know, I guess in other situations. But this doesn't have to die.
Right.
I mean,
right. And it's not about one of the things that pisses me off the most, primarily because I come from a predominantly white city and schooling and everything.
I feel like I know what you're about to say.
Is that like, oh, you want to do it like white people? And I'm like, okay, this is not about white or black. This is not saying the way that white people do things is right and the way that black people do things is wrong. There is just a right way and a wrong way. It doesn't matter what color they are. Like, yeah, I've seen white people riding with their bits upside down and their stuff just all messy and, you know, haven't gotten their stuff together, but black people do the same thing. And at the end of the day, it's not about that. Like, we're just trying to do it the right way, the safe way, and the way that provides the most longevity for the horse and for the rider. So that is the primary thing that I am faced with. You know, if I say, oh, let's do this, oh, no, white people do that. Like, okay, well, you know what, we just gonna be black and we just gonna do it this way.
Right. I mean, you said longevity. You want your horses to live long. And then you don't want to be fighting with the horse every time you want to go ride. I mean, it's things that I'm learning now, and I'm like, oh, why ain't nobody ever tell me that? It makes sense. You know, there are so many issues that we could all just fix with our horses and our horsemanship in general if we just paid attention and learned something.
Yeah.
And I know sometimes we just learn things, you know, by doing and failing and we figure it out. But it's people who've already done all that. And there's books, there's Abriana, there's other resources.
Yeah, I'm all about equate kids with special needs with animals, but the sheer fact that they pick up on nonverbal communication, because many kids with autism can be nonverbal, they pick up on that communication more than verbal. And so animals are the same way.
Yeah.
And I personally train my animals verbally, because if I'm like far away, or say if I fall off my horse and I say ho, by all means you need to stop. Whether I'm pulling reins or not, you need to be stopping. So I make sure that he knows like ho, back, all that, so that I don't have to use my tack or my seat or anything to do that. If I can speak, then I can make him do it. But just that the process of like rewarding, sometimes you got to reward your horse when they're doing something well, and discipline when they're not. And I know, this could be an entire episode, which is not even like what we're here to talk about, but I know a lot of parents who have kids with autism, there's that fear in like the communication is different, and trying to figure out how best to communicate with that child without them like causing a scene and whatnot. So that's what me and my friend talk about a lot, just trying to figure out what's the best way to communicate and the common sense factors in it. I work with dogs on a daily basis. Like, you have to read the behavior. If their eyes are real wide and they're tense, their body is really tense, okay, well, don't reach your hand in there, because they will probably bite you. You just have to be a little bit better about it. Greenville, we made it. So yeah, yeah.
I'm excited, for the future. And I know people are going to have their comments. And some people might, take it and go, I never thought about that. Whatever you do with this information, I just hope that we can all get on the same page of taking better care of our horses, better care of ourselves. Because, again, horses can kill you. I tell my kids this all the time. They are still large animals. And there are some small things, like checking your saddle pads to make sure there's no, stick briars on them. Because say if you put one on your horse and you put a saddle on it, then you put yourself on it, now it's poking the horse.
Yeah.
And you fighting with it.
Fighting them up, thinking they're just acting up.
Exactly.
Like, no.
You punishing them because they're in pain. Like, it doesn't make sense. So it's stuff like that that we can, I just hope we come together and just think about it a little bit more.
Yeah, and we're always open for comments. If you want to hear us discuss something in particular or go into more information on something, by all means, comment, share, message us privately. We're all, it's a learning experience.